What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Chig coming at you with another Diablo 3 build guide. This time we're going to be talking about the Seeker of the Light Blessed Hammer set. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you can do to help out the channel for free. And don't forget we're having the giveaway as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. In order to enter, you got to be subscribed to the channel, like and comment on any of the videos where the giveaway is mentioned, and each like and comment will get you an entry into the giveaway. Anyway, let's hop right into it. So this is the Secret the Light set. This is the Blessed Hammer set, and it's not as good as it used to be, but it's kind of fun if you want to get on leaderboards. This is a good build to do it with. Um, it's interesting. It's got a fun play style. It's just not as strong as some of the other stuff anymore. It could really use a buff. I would go over the speed version, but the speed version requires so many Paragon points that it's not even worth doing because you just can't do enough damage with the speed version without a billion Paragons. So this is the Greater Rift build. You can use this for speed GRs or you can use this for pushing. It works for both. It's not incredibly fast, but it's not slow. I'll demonstrate here in a minute. So we're using 5 pieces. I currently have the head, the feet, the chest, the hands, and the shoulders equipped. I don't have any of my gear rolled because I normally don't. You guys know this. So we are using the 2 set. Every use of Blessed Hammer that hits an enemy reduces the cooldown of Falling Sword and Provoke by 1 second. That'll come in handy in a minute. I'll explain why. 4 set, you take 50% damage for 8 seconds after landing with Falling Sword. We're basically spamming that all of the time. 6 set, increase the damage of Blessed Hammer by 15,000% and Falling Sword by 1,000%. So Falling Sword doesn't do a incredible amount of damage. Blessed Hammer is going to be most of it, but like it's basically a set them up and knock them down build. You got a Falling Hammer, and then you got to Provoke, and then you got to Blessed Hammer. So like it's different. You'll see in the gameplay footage. We are using the Endless Walk set, Traveler's Pledge, and Compass Rose. While moving, damage taken reduced by up to 50%. While standing still, damage taken is increased by 100%. We're basically always moving. That's what the purpose is of that. Um, we're using strong arm bracers, pulling them in to take increased damage. When we knock them back with our falling sword, which we'll talk about in a minute, they take increased damage. So this is just a multiplier. Using Captain Crimson's set, the 2 set gives us 20% cooldown and resource cost reduction. The 3 set, damage dealt is increased by your percentage of cooldown reduction, and damage taken is reduced by your percentage of cost reduction. So both of those things are huge for us because, like I said, weak build, we need everything we can get. And we're using the Convention of Elements. Basically, you don't have to pay attention to this, but if you do, Holy is your big window. So set up for Holy rotation. We're using Joanna's Argument, which is my crafted primal because I like to use my weapons as my crafted unless there's a reason not to. I did re-roll into cooldown on this. That's the only thing I've re-rolled on this entire set except for the pants because I needed gems on the pants. And then we're using Guard of Joanna, which goes with Joanna's Argument. Blessed Hammer's damage is increased by 215%, well, 214 I suppose, up to 250 for the first 3 enemies that it hits. That comes in handy on the Rift Guardians, comes in handy when there's a yellow left, etc, etc. The gems we are using a big cooldown gem in the hat because cooldown is our biggest stat. We want cooldown crit crit. Attack speed where you can get it obviously, but cooldown crit crit are the big things. We're using resist all in our gear. We're using Gogok of Swiftness because we need all of the cooldown we can get. Cooldown is the most important stat we have. Bane of the Trapped, anything that is slowed takes increased damage. We'll go over why that's important in a moment. And then Bane of the Stricken for when you're pushing. If you're doing lobby stuff, put in Bane of the Powerful obviously, but in the meantime, Bane of the Stricken is fine. In the cube, we have Fateful Memory. Each enemy hit by Falling Sword increases the damage of Blessed Hammer by 80% for 10 seconds, max 10 stacks. So you're trying to pull mobs together, jump on their head, get increased damage to blow them up. Hammer Jammers, enemies take 400% increased damage from your Blessed Hammer for 10 seconds after you hit them with a Blind, Immobilize, or Stun. So the Provoke is an Immobilize, so we'll go over that in a moment. And then Ring of Royal Grandeur, reduce the number of items needed. That way we can have the 6 set and the 3 piece. We're using iron skin, steel skin, so we can have a higher uptime on this. Just reduces the amount of damage we take. Laws of Valor reduces the wrath cost and increases our attack speed. We're throwing out hammers as fast as we can. Falling Sword, launch yourself into the heavens, crashing down your enemies, dealing weapon damage as you land, everything within 14 yards. Each enemy hit reduces the cooldown by 1 second, cannot be reduced below 10. So basically we're leaping around, we're spamming hammers, leaping around, spamming hammers. It plays a lot like Leap Quake, it's a lot of fun. Blessed Hammer, limitless, so we just do this because this doubles the damage of Blessed Hammer. There are other runes you can use, but this is going to be the one that deals the most DPS. Provoke, too scared to run. Taunted enemies have their attack speed reduced by 50% and their movement speed slowed by 80%. So the reason this is important, it gives us back Wrath for starters. Secondly, it procs Hammer Jammers. So what you want to do is you want a Falling Sword, provoke, hammers. Falling Sword, provoke, hammers. Falling Sword, provoke, hammers. And that's like the set them up and knock them down. Falling Sword and provoke is the set them up. Blessed Hammer is the knock them down. Akarat's Champion, Prophet, increased damage, increased wrath regeneration, increased armor, cheat death, everything we need. Holy Cause, amount of damage by your weapon by 10%, just extra DPS. And whenever you do holy damage, you heal for 1% of your total life. So we're going to be stutter stepping a lot, throwing out hammers, dealing holy damage, so it's going to be healing us up. While wielding one-handed weapon, your attack speeds increase by 15% and all cooldowns are reduced by 15%. So we need all the cooldown we can get and all the attack speed we can get. This is just huge for us. Long Arm of the Law, it's going to make it where we don't have to use our law as often. So it's just giving us more uptime. We're going to use it on cooldown. We're just going to use it as much as we can because it's going to give us attack speed. It's going to give us wrath cost reduction. And then Finery, which again is probably the one thing that I think is the best passive in the game, just 15% extra strength just for existing. Alright, let's go do a 90 so I can show you how it plays. Like I said, it's not fast, but it is fun. So first things first, you got to find some mobs. You want to leap on them, provoke, and then get up your buffs and go. Leap on them, provoke, get on your buffs, and go. Now what you can do is as you get your stacks going and you got your stacks on your Falling Sword, you can just jump, get stuff. You can just kind of elite hunt. It's not the best elite hunting build, but you can take advantage of that, right? Because it is kind of good at that, but you want to kind of stutter step and throw hammers and just keep your buffs up as much as you can. And then, you know, if you get a shield pylon, you basically hit the lottery because you can stand still and do all of your stuff, which is amazing. So we're just going to run, and you want to keep tossing out hammers because it reduces your cooldowns, right? So that is the big thing there. You want to toss hammers because it reduces your cooldown. Since you got the potions, use the potions to try to get your buffs. Obviously, it's everything we can do to make this build a little stronger is needed because it is not the strongest. Like I said, play this build if you want to get on the Crusader leaderboards without much competition. I mean, there are still some people who swear by this build. I like the build. I can't play it competitively because it just the playstyle is not my favorite, but I don't hate the playstyle, right? So we can pop around, do some jumping, and I mean, as you can see, it does clear pretty quickly. Like, it's not the fastest build in the world, but it's not the slowest build in the world either, right? Like, you can just stutter step, and once you get a good stack of density, you can turn around and blow them up. Like, it's not bad at all. And then you can dunk on elites. Like, you pop your stuff on them and they will die. Like, it's not like you're struggling to kill anything. It's more along the lines of, like, it's not that it's bad, it's just that there are better things you can be doing. And if this is what you get put together first, by all means, put it together, play it. It's not bad, it's fun. It is a fun build. You get Spammers has always been a fun build in all of the games that it's existed in, right? Like, you can't ever deny the fun of the hammers. I mean, I've even been playing a hammered in on D2. I suck at D2, so I'm not going to be bringing you any D2 content for a hot minute, but yeah, that's all I'm saying is I'm bad at that one. Yeah, anybody want to help me out on that and like help me learn? I'm down. Just throw it in the comments. I'll add you on my BNet and we'll do the thing. But yeah, we'll do the stuff. All right, look, we already got the Guardian. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna jump. We're gonna do that, and then we're just gonna pop all our cooldowns. Leap. Bang, 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 bang. Okay, cool. We did it in 3 minutes, right? Like 3-minute 90s, not the fastest, not the slowest, obviously. Better your gear gets, the faster it's gonna go. Everything works out. It's fun build. Do this if you want to push something that doesn't have a lot of competition. Do this if you like spammers. I mean, I'm a big advocate of play what's fun, not what's meta. So, yeah, go ahead, put this one together, knock them out. I mean, if nothing else, it looks cool and you get to jump around, right? Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget about the don't forget about the giveaway and go get those legendaries, guys.